welcome to this part of Body Mastery, a deeper look. Today I wanted to go through curl-ups, sit-ups, any other names you know for them, to go through a couple of things. The first thing is thinking, what do your arms do? And also, what does the head do? If you have a band, that would be kind of useful. If you don't, get a long towel that has a little bit of give. You actually hold it corner to corner because it stretches. Imagination there. And also I would grab a pillow because, especially if any trainers are watching this, people often need a pillow under their head when they're lying down. If anyone has osteoporosis and it's diagnosed in the upper back, please, this is generally not for you, so please don't. Otherwise, if you have any neck issues, try this and see how it helps. But if you've been told not to do sit-ups, please don't. And of course, pregnancies, no. The rest of us, we can come down onto the mat. So, to start off with, when someone lies down, ponytails are often in the way. Please get them out of the way. And then, what we need to feel in ourselves, or as a trainer, for example, look at, is the shape of someone's muscles and the shape of their body. Because if someone has a bigger bum, they may look really like you, or you might feel you have a big arch. Not a problem for me. Wish it was. So I actually can have quite a very small arch and flat back. If you find yourself that you're like this and it's not comfy, I would get a little towel or pillow behind your lower back. That's part one. Then the other place we want to look and feel is here, sort of all where the cross straps are on the bra strap area. That part of you, and a little bit down into the whole rib cage really, wants to soften into the mat. Now, if you can see this, if I have my arms here, if I try to push this down too much, I get a lot of tension here, which is not a place to start from. So it's always about finding the sweet spot. And sometimes what I do is I take my arms up and I go shoulder blade, shoulder blade, shoulder blade, shoulder blade. And it helps create some length for me. And then it's making sure, as I say, this bra strap and lower can soften. Not force. Especially when we start. Notice in yourself, if you feel like you're like this, or you see your clients like this, give them a pillow. And then the neck is more relaxed in the beginning. If we move from a place of tension, we have tension and the wrong tension. I don't need this, so I'm going to be here. So let's go through the head up first. If you don't have neck issues, this was taken from Cracky Grant, which changed for me 10 years ago how I looked at the head in sit-ups. There's this small move of lifting the head minutely, millimetre off the floor. You might not even see that, okay? It's a tiny lift, like a piece of paper could go behind my head. Then once I've got that, I'm going to drop my chin as close to this dip in my body, the clavicular space here between the clavicles where they meet there. I'm going to put my chin down there as much as I can. So it's a lift first, and then a chin nod. Then, my head, if you've got a stiff neck, you might feel a stretch here. What often happens is you'll be here, again, a lot of strain. Do your best to nod the head, and there is no work right now in my abdominals. So it's not a sit-up yet. It's a lift straight up to the ceiling, and then a nod. And you'll notice when I do it, I stop talking because I don't want this to be working. So head up and nod. I have not engaged my abdominals. I'm pretty loose. I've not come up higher in my ribs, if you can see the difference. I'm using the deep muscles in my neck. For me, this was a game changer in a lot of moves and for a lot of clients helping their head. Kathy Grant called it head lift 1, 2. Scissors. 1, 2. Because then when you come up here, when you keep this, the head is lighter. What we used to say is to push down and come up. And to me, that's tensed, it's contracted, it's no space. Lift and create space. Using a band, so these are the loop bands that I talk about a fair bit. If I have that behind my skull, I can have my hands through it, and as I pick this up, I pull to the ceiling. That lifts me that little bit, and then as I nod, my arms pull, and then my head has something to semi-rest in and to be lifted, and that might help you do the further sit-up. Same thing, you put the towel just to the hairline is a good place to think. So that's a head lift. So you might want to stop, pause the video, have a little play with that, and just notice the difference. Especially if you do Pilates and the roll up, often what we see is head comes up and this chin lift. There's a lot of work here, not so much work here. My stomach's actually bulging there, and the back doesn't flex. Whereas when I do my head lift 1, 2, I can roll, this stays here, I get this lift and length, and it is a game changer. So please try it, and I'm very happy if you write in the comments as to how you feel about it. Now, the next part, often we have the hands behind the head. Again, there's many different cues that people use. I tend to like linking my hands together. And I think with the heel of the hand here, I can almost sit underneath my skull, and there's a nice little traction moment there. My friend used to say, push your head into your hand into your head. Some people will be light, some people like to do this, but I don't feel that's a cradle. Because what I'm going to suggest you try, and please note, different bodies, different ways. If you do classes with someone and they don't teach this way, absolutely do the way that suits your body, which includes if you're in my classes. So what tends to happen for me, and a lot of shoulders if they're tight, if you take the elbows wide, if you can see my ribs came up. Okay, now for me to try to do that without, takes a lot more thinking. Still thinking. And I've just about got it. But there's a lot more work in that. So we often say keep the elbows as wide as possible. What I'm going to suggest you try is have the elbows in your vision. Sometimes I've actually squeezed a ball between. You do that head lift and chin tuck. Now I'm light on my hands, I'm not pulling. But notice my elbows are pointing to my knees. Then I think if someone grabbed my elbow, pulled it, my shoulder blade slides around me, and that helps get this lifting feeling. If I had it here, I don't get the same amount of flexion in my body. And this for me is a nice feeling that someone's hooked. And if I did my legs straight, it's nicer actually for me. It's like someone's hooked me and pulled me up. It slides here and enables, for my body anyway, my upper back to get more rounded. Whereas if my arms are here, let me try roll up with my arms wide. I can do it. Oh, no, I can't. Now, I know the gravity changes when the elbows are wider, but for me, it's about when my shoulder blades wrap around me, the muscles here pull in, which helps me connect into my obliques. There's a little chain in the body that I find very, very useful. So if I wanted to challenge it, okay, I can have my arms here, they're still reaching. As my head comes up, I'm still reaching my shoulder blades. But now my arm is longer, so my lever changes, and that's what can challenge more. Okay? Now what we add, so many things, is we can do that little sit-up. Now if I stay in this curl and go out, in, I'm looking right in between my thighs, okay? Elbows open, closed. That makes me work harder, but not at the expense of lowering the body down. I really hope that makes sense. There's obviously a lot of other things that I will share over time with you, but those two things for me were quite pivotal in how my own body moved into a lot of the flexion exercises that Pilates in particular offers. Even using the big fit ball, it changes how you can flex the spine, because here it's a lot harder. Here it kind of offers the body that opportunity. So I say, I'm not necessarily saying I'm right, it's my point of view, it's what I experience in my body and what I enjoy and teach. Please try it. I would love your feedback, especially even if you're a teacher. I would love to hear. If you're a client and you've tried it and it worked for you, love to hear that too. If it doesn't work for you, that's cool. It's all about trying things, moving, and what gives you the lightest feeling as you move through. Okay? Thank you as always for watching. There will be more in this series, so stay tuned and take good care. See you soon. Thank you.